Hey guys, Brad here. And this week, the question of the week that I want to talk about is, should I take the money in my Roth IRA and put that into a deferred annuity? And this is a question that came from somebody that sent me an email, set up an appointment with me, and wanted to discuss it. Guess where he got this idea? You'll never guess. He got it from a federal seminar. Okay, somebody came to his agency, did a seminar, and then he was offered a free benefits analysis, which, guess what that led up to? It led up to a recommendation to put money into a fixed indexed annuity. And he said they're not worried about my TSP so much as my Roth IRA. They want to take all that money, put it into this annuity. Well, they're not worried about his TSP because he's 50 and he has no access to his TSP yet. But I digress. So getting back to the question, should he take his money from his Roth IRA, put that into a deferred indexed annuity? And this, again, is not specific investment advice. So we're just going to talk about this guy and his situation, and in general, what that would look like for most federal employees. So we had a 20-minute discussion over it. And he said, I really, in general, I don't really think I need an annuity because I have two pensions or two kind of pensions. I have my FERS annuity, I have Social Security. Yes, great way of thinking here. So in general, protecting first retirement is your first, it's a three-legged stool, right? FERS annuity, Social Security, investment income, or TSP. So two of those three are guaranteed. So why do you need to guarantee the third is my question. And maybe there's extenuating circumstances sometimes where it might make sense to do that. But in general, I would say it doesn't make sense a lot of times. So with this guy here, I don't think it makes sense at all for him. And even more specific, they're telling him, take your money from your Roth IRA and put that money into a deferred index annuity. So looking into that a little more, a lot of times when I talk with people and we develop plans for people, the recommendation is for the money in their Roth IRA to be their most aggressive money, okay? Most of the time they hold stocks in their Roth IRA versus more conservative bonds or cash. And the reason for that is because most of the time that's going to be the asset that they tap last for retirement income. So it's kind of twofold. That's one reason. Especially when you have somebody that's going to have, maybe their goal's not to leave money to somebody, but you know that they have a good nest egg and that money will be left to kids or some type of heir. So money in a Roth IRA, that money is going to sit there and grow the longest. Therefore, it kind of makes sense to have that be your more aggressive money. But then another reason that makes sense is money in a Roth IRA is completely income tax free, right? So, as long as you follow the rules, you have the money there for 5 years and then take it out after you're 59 and a half or older, that money comes out income tax free. So while it's growing, it grows tax free. And then when you take it out, it comes out income tax free. So the question I had for him is, if that's an asset that's going to grow income tax free, wouldn't you want that to grow as much as possible? Okay, so wouldn't you want to have your most aggressive assets in your Roth IRA? And again, there's no guarantee, no guarantee that he's going to make the most money in stocks, being aggressive. But we always look back at history, look at any 10-year time period, look at any 15, 20-year time period, and tell me what does better over those time periods. Is it stocks or is it bonds? Okay, and come to your own conclusion. So for those reasons, specifically for this guy, it didn't make sense for him to take money from his Roth IRA and then put that into a deferred annuity. But then the next question he asked was, so is there ever a time where it makes sense for a federal employee to put money into an index annuity or an annuity period? Which is a great question. And I try to be product agnostic. he started talking about life insurance too, how he had somebody trying to sell him life insurance. Another thing I left out with the Roth IRA, they were telling him he could start a Roth IRA, transfer his Roth IRA, put that into a deferred annuity, and then put money into it for a while. And then after a while, then he can move it into another one. Well, why do you move it into another one? Does the one he's in, does that one not work well? Or is it because if you put money into another one, now the agent gets another commission? I don't know. Question to think about. But getting back, does an annuity ever make sense for a federal employee? And I'm not going to say no, it never does. I will say that not very often. I don't think in my opinion, it's not a good fit very often for federal employees. But can it make sense? Or have I seen situations where it can make sense? And yes, it can. It depends on the person. I talked to a lady last fall, and she ended up taking $200,000 of her TSP money and buying a single premium immediate annuity with that money. So that was actually done through TSP. It's an annuity offered through MetLife. And if you're going to do a single premium immediate annuity with qualified money, meaning dollars like what's in your TSP, then it's probably best to do it through TSP because MetLife typically offers good rates compared to the marketplace. But the reason she did that, talked to her about it a little bit, and I don't think it was necessary. I don't think it's something she needed to do. I think she would be better off investing the money. However, this lady, her explanation was, well, I just feel like, and she had something like $700,000 in TSP. So she didn't take all of it. She didn't even take half of it. But she took $200,000, put it into the single premium immediate annuity, and then she was guaranteed a payment for the rest of her life and her spouse's life. And what she told me is, she said, I'm just thinking that if I did this, then it'll help me sleep at night, knowing that money's coming in and knowing that I'll never outlive that money. And I just feel a lot more comfortable doing that. If that's the case, if that's you, and you need to do something like guarantee another source of income outside of your first annuity, outside of your Social Security with some of your investment money, then that's a situation where it can be a good fit. All right. So I don't find a lot of those, but yet it's a situation like that where it could be a good fit. And single premium immediate annuities are something that could be a good fit there. And they do guarantee a stream of income for the rest of your life. However, at the insured's death, or depending on what option you choose, maybe you choose joint, so the insured plus spouse, at their death, that money's gone. Okay, so the insurance company is taking on the risk, and then the insured is not. They're placing the risk on the insurance company to take it off themselves. So is it ever a good fit for a federal employee to buy an annuity, a deferred annuity, an equity index annuity? It can be. Getting to the equity index annuities, if a federal employee wanted to do that and wanted something really secure in retirement, I have a hard time believing that an index annuity is going to be better for that person than leaving money in the G fund. The G fund's guaranteed. It's guaranteed to never lose money. It's modeled to make the interest rate around what the 10-year treasury makes. So it's going to make some money. Similar to a bond, it's typically going to be just a little bit less than corporate bonds. If you look at it historically, I believe the G fund's made like 1% less on average per year than the F fund. But I have a hard time believing that an index annuity would be better than leaving money in TSP and leaving it in the G fund. If you leave it in the G fund, you have no surrender charges. If you put it into an annuity, you have surrender charges for a minimum of 5 years to 10 years, typically. So that limits your access to your money. Okay, I'm not a fan of limiting access to your money. And then you don't know what it's going to make. The index annuity, you don't know what it's going to make. I guess with the G fund, you don't either. But it's easier to understand. As this guy mentioned to me when I was talking to him today. He said these complex. He said I have a decent financial background, uh, but yet these contracts are so complicated and so hard to understand that I can't get my head around all of it. And some of them are. They can be very complicated, and yet they're all you have to do is have an insurance license to sell them. And guess what else? The person trying to sell it to him, insurance license. Calling themselves retirement planners, does not have a license to give investment advice, cannot sell any investments, yet calling themselves retirement planners and recommending people take money and put it into annuities. So that's my question of the week. Talking about an annuity, an index annuity, deferred annuity, if it's a good fit for him, and if an annuity is ever a good fit for federal employees. Okay, I hope that helps. Again, Brad Bob here, work with federal employees, retirement planning. I'll leave some links in the bottom in the description, so that you can find out more information about this stuff, or me if you'd like more help. Thanks.